Now, forewarned weather with Ashlee Baracy.
Well, good Wednesday morning, folks. We want to make sure you're prepared for some scattered rain across the area. This is going to be inconvenient more than anything, but a light rain jacket will do because you won't need the rain gear by later on this afternoon as we dry things out. But this is on the lighter, more scattered side. In fact, some of this just kind of ground clutter when we look at some of the moisture in the cloud cover. But by Ida down towards LaSalle and Monroe County, still picking up some light rain, a little more widespread in portions of Washtenaw County from Ann Arbor towards Chelsea. That impacts that I-94 commute, which is west of the accident that Darnell's been talking about close to Metro Airport. We'll get to that in a moment. But west of Washtenaw County into Jackson County is where we do have some of that steady rainfall. So you see that scattered rain pushing eastward, coming out of Wisconsin over Lake Michigan and crossing portions of lower Michigan, including right here into Metro Detroit. When does it move out of here? The big question, probably in the next few hours. So model data gets this off to the east by 9 a.m. But we're still holding on to cloud cover at that point. In fact, we'll have a mostly cloudy day until we get to about dinner time, 4, 5, 6 o'clock. Now we have some clear skies, which will take us through sunset and clear conditions tonight. Worth mentioning, we fall to the 30s tonight, so you could have some patchy frost by tomorrow morning. But before we get there, seasonal 60s on tap for today. Then we'll repeat that again tomorrow. We do have some 70s in the forecast this weekend for Saturday. But it comes with some rain chances that cools us back off for the second half of the week, and we're going to time that out for you in just a moment. This is what it's going to feel like as you step outside this morning, anywhere from about 50 to 55 degrees. So that cloud cover and the rain keeping us pretty steady, not a big temperature differential across the area. In fact, we're actually a couple degrees warmer than yesterday morning, but don't let it fool you. This afternoon will be cooler. We were in the 70s yesterday, and now we're talking about 64 for that afternoon high. So bus stop forecast, kids need the light rain gear this morning, but they don't need it this afternoon. However, that light rain jacket might keep them a little bit warmer by the afternoon with the cooler conditions. And so October's highs have been pretty much above average for the first half of the month. We've had 2 days come in below average, 2 days right on the nose where we should be. Otherwise, 70s and 80s to start the month. So we've been spoiled. The 60s today are going to feel cooler, even though that's where we should be. If you're heading out to the Red Wings game, puck drops at 7 o'clock at LCA. Just showing you this because by the time you leave LCA tonight, we'll be in the 50s. You'll need that extra layer, but you don't need the rain gear to and from the arena. So that's good news. Fall foliage, current report, we have moderate color across lower Michigan. We're at or even past peak in portions of the UP. Where are we going to be about a week from now? Well, likely high color across portions of southeastern Michigan, peak up north and past peak in the upper peninsula. That puts us right in the range of where we should be with the average peak foliage mid to late October in southeastern Michigan. So weekend forecast, outdoor plans. We got a Michigan game that's at home this weekend. And of course, we have the Red Wings. Then going into Monday, we have the Lions. And so clouds and radar forecast, some light rain showers possible on Friday night past sunset. But it's really going to be Sunday throughout the entire day that we have a chance for rain. And that could be a soaker for the second half of the weekend. So 70 Saturday, but then a rainy 60-degree day come Sunday. And we'll be on either side of 60 to start next week. That's your 7-day forecast.
Forewarned weather with Exact Track 4D.
We'll be drying things out as the day rolls on, but we will be on a cooler note, which is a big change from where we've started off October. You can see the first half of the month coming in mainly above average. 10 days, in fact, recorded above average. That includes 70s and 80s. 2 of the days right where we should be and only 2 below average. So I would say today and tomorrow will be very seasonal where we should be for mid-October. Forecasting low to mid 60s for that afternoon high. And so we will have more clouds than sun for at least the first part of the afternoon until this evening when we start to clear things out. So if you're heading out to the Red Wings game, you don't need to have any kind of rain gear. It's going to be mostly clear, which once we get past sunset means tumbling temperatures. So prepare for 50-degree temperatures as you're walking to your car as you leave the arena for tonight. But the dinner hour, likely low 60s. Puck drops at 7 o'clock. And so just a really nice, pleasant evening to be in downtown Detroit, taking on some hockey in the D. Now, low temperatures tonight will be much cooler compared to what we woke up to this morning. That's because of the clear skies. So forecasting 30s the farther inland you go. That means the farther west and north away from the lakeshore will be falling into the mid to upper 30s, which could lead to some patchy frost formation. So just warning you that you could see some frost in some of our suburbs. But fall foliage. Let's get to that because the cooler nights that we've encountered over the last several days have allowed for some pop in color. And so the current report that came out yesterday put us past peak in the western half of the UP and right at peak in the other portions of the upper peninsula. As far as lower Michigan, we're looking at moderate to a couple patches of high color. But a week from now is when we will see peak color in the northern half of the Upper Peninsula. So if you have a place up north, maybe in the next week, you should go up and take in that color. Otherwise, we'll have moderate to high color across southeastern Michigan. How does that stack up with the average? Well, along southeastern Michigan, we usually hit our peak color mid to late October. So we're really on time when it comes to that color change. It's just not quite as vibrant as we've had in years past. Been a rather dull fall, but we're starting to see some of the color change. So clouds and radar forecast, because we do have more rain in the forecast, but not until we get to probably Friday night. Can't rule out a passing shower, though. It's pretty isolated. Some scattered rain possible Saturday, but the bulk of the rain looks to arrive on Sunday. Now, this model pulling it in the morning and keeping us in that pattern through the day, even into Sunday evening. We're still several days out, so we have to fine-tune that part of the forecast. But nonetheless, I do believe the second half of the weekend at this point looks to be a little more active than what we have on tap for your Saturday. So if you are heading out to the Big House Saturday for that noon kickoff against Washington, well, you can plan for a chance for showers by game's end, but I think overall partly to mostly cloudy, and we will be rising from the 60s into the 70s. Now, those rain chances will be a little more prominent for your Sunday, but scattered variety throughout the day. So as we take a closer look at this 7-day forecast, warmest day of the week, Saturday, high of 75, but the rain throughout the day Sunday cools us back off into seasonal 60s. We'll start off below average on Monday as the Lions will be in town, 59 for the high, and then back in the 60s by Tuesday of next week.
Not to mention some catches that were clearly on the
The
ground.
Kelce catch was...
But it's Travis Kelce, so we're going to let that one count.
And that, you know what annoyed me? That one was more, we should have challenged it because they called it a catch. Maybe they missed it.
Right.
But the official that they have in the booth, hey, what did you think? He goes, no, that's a catch, blah, blah. That's a catch. It's clearly not, he had it in his hands. And I understand if you catch it and then you go to the ground and it hits the ground, sometimes it's a catch.
Right.
But the ball clearly, or the ground helped him make that.
A
Absolutely.
lot of videos have been surfacing showing just in that one game alone all of the missed calls by the referees.
One by Kelce himself, the holding on one of those long runs.
It was so glaring, and it's very frustrating. And so I don't know if anything's going to happen, but
The memes are funny, though.
It also doesn't help.
But what I would like to see is like one of these questionable no calls, and then if a ref was like nearby and actually saw it, you know, like if the video shows the ref seeing the penalty and not calling it.
Which they do.
Yeah.
I mean, for the casual fan, by the way, they see like that one play where Goff scored the touchdown, and then they huddle up, and then they end up throwing the flag. They're like, wow, they are really in it for the Chiefs. Or at the end where Kelce just does one of these
and the flag comes out.
Those are kind of football plays, but the average fan probably thinks, what the heck?
Yeah, but that, when they called back that touchdown by Goff, I felt like it was a real energy game changer, and not in a good way for the Lions. It seemed like we could not pull it together after that.
It wasn't fun.
We'll take it out on Baker Mayfield at Monday Night Football.
Yeah, that's exactly what we're going to do. How about we check the Hollywood Minute with David Daniel?
All right, and we have Nick here.
Our own showgirl, life of a showgirl.
Just call me Ophelia. All right, coming up here on Local 4 Live at 8 o'clock, the Bridges Project is a group that supports families during breast cancer treatment. Well, they've come up with a new way to fund the work that they're doing by selling old wedding dresses. There's actually a really big market for that. So we're going to tell you how you can donate an old wedding gown to help them. And as we mentioned earlier, Dr. McGeorge is going to be here to talk about why it's a really good idea to have someone come with you to your doctor's appointments. Number one, of course, is advocacy. Number two,
keep your gown. Keep your gown tied up in the back.
But just remembering what they said, because half the time it's in there and out the other.
It is, yeah.
And holiday shortages. Tariffs are causing some issues, so start your holiday shopping right now.
All that coming up next.